And Remy will not be joining today either.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
As long as we got a quorum, we'll make it work. Hi, everybody. I'm going to call this Greenbelt Advisory Commission meeting to order. Welcome, everyone, to the April 4, 2024 Greenbelt Advisory Commission meeting. This is an electronic meeting. We intend to conduct this meeting similar to in-person meetings. Please be patient, however, if there are any technical difficulties. Public comment will be via telephone only. Please know that if you are watching this meeting live online, there is a 30-second delay. To speak during any of the public commentary opportunities, please call 1-877-853-4247 and enter the meeting ID number 941-0420-8673. This information is also available on the public agenda and the public notices section of the city website and on the broadcast of this meeting on CTN channel 16, AT&T channel 99, and online at a2gov.org/watchctn. Please note, if you do call in for public comment, you must enter star six to unmute yourself. And with that, we will call this meeting to order and do roll call. Let me pull up my stuff here. Okay, first off, please, when I say your name, say where you're calling in from. Deaver Armstrong.
Here and calling in from Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Very good. I think you said Roseanne Bloomer is not present, as I recall. Okay. I'm Jason Boggs. I am here calling in from my home in Ann Arbor. We've got Julius Buzzard.
I'm here. I'm calling in from Ypsilanti, Michigan.
Excellent. Robert Gordon, I think you said, is not attending today. Kate Laramie.
I'm here attending from Ypsilanti.
Excellent. Council member Travis Radina.
Here in Ann Arbor.
Excellent. And Elizabeth Briggs is going to be joining us late. She is traveling from an appointment and we'll get here when she can. Oh, and then we also have Sheila Schuler, who I think is also not present today. Is that correct? Okay. But we do have a quorum and we will move forward. I'm going to pull up the agenda. Let's see. That is. Remind me, Rosie, do I run the agenda part of things or is that where you take over?
You run the agenda and tell me when I can start talking.
Got it. Okay. So item number 3 on our agenda here is the approval of the agenda. Does anybody have any omissions or items they'd like to add to the agenda today? Not seeing any hands go up or faces change in excitement, so we will proceed with a vote to approve the agenda. Anybody want to make that motion?
So move to approve a vote to approve the agenda.
Very good. Thanks, Dee. Anybody got a second? Julius?
I'll second.
All right, very good. All in favor? Aye. All right, that passes. We will do the same here with the minutes. Has everyone had a chance to look at the minutes from the most recent meeting, which was January 11th of 2024? Do we need a little time to go over those, or has everybody had a chance to take a peek at those? Okay. Dee's okay. All right. So does anybody want to move to approve the minutes as written? Travis has got a movement. Anybody second? Dee? Okay. All in favor to approve the minutes from the January 11th meeting, please say aye. Anybody opposed? All right. Moving on from that, that passes. Next up, public commentary. We have an opportunity for up to 4 speakers, but I don't believe, and tell us, Juliet, if I'm wrong here, but I don't believe there is anybody on the call from the public today. Is that correct?
That is correct. No public commentary. No callers for
right.
public commentary.
Obviously, you'll interrupt us if that changes, and we will move on. Thank you very much. And we'll move on to new business, starting with the staff report and Rosie.
Good to see you all. Thanks for being here. Okay. So several closings have happened in the last 3 months. If you remember, Amazon Pop and Larson, they closed at the end of January after our meeting. These were partnership projects, small properties. Amazon Pop was led by Legacy Land Conservancy on the left there, small property that but like surrounded by a ton of protected land. And Larson on the right there, led by Webster Township. Both have closed. There was I will get to it, but there was a MLive article about it. And then 3 properties that you all recommended to move forward with in January have also made it through council. The Heller, Hayden, and Fletcher properties. Heller and Hayden you looked at in January, and Fletcher you approved in October, I believe. So made it through council. So the township, these are all township-led properties, projects, and they will get those moving. There were 3 MLive articles about the Greenbelt in the last 3 months. So 2 of them covering all of those properties, and then one, of course, about our Chapter 42 ordinance revisions that I will get to shortly, that I will review shortly. And the Ann Arbor Observer is also talking about doing an article involving the Greenbelt and talking about the state of conservation in the area. If it's okay, or if there are any questions on those properties or anything else here, let me know, or I'll move on to budget.
I'll just share, it's been really good to see the coverage. Seems like things are being well received, and as I've run into a few people out and about, lots of nice comments about what they've been seeing, and just appreciate all the work you all are doing.
And all the work y'all are doing too. Okay, I'm going to come back to Chapter 42 revisions. Budget report, I've done a fairly decent update on our budget, both open and closed session. So to go through some of the projects that are in the works here, CARES 2, which was approved a while ago, the township-led project, they have submitted all of their documents for our attorney review. So they're looking to close, this year, probably. It says Q2 2024 there, but it will likely be, well, it's definitely not that anymore. It will likely be Q1 2025. And they still have to go through the final federal approval as well. Fletcher, Hayden, and Heller were just passed by council. Divine, that is our lead. The baseline is currently underway for that property, almost done, actually, is my understanding. So we should be able to close on that soon. We also had a fun title work thing that came up with that one, where there was a very small telephone structure easement on that property, like 10 feet by 10 feet or something, very small. And but AT&T has agreed to release that easement. So that made that nice and easy. Didn't have to exclude the area from the easement in the end. So exciting title work behind the scenes stuff. And then for finances here, so all of that's up to date. The fund balance that was reported, you might not even remember, but the fund balance that was reported in January was higher than this. There was a slight miscalculation behind the scenes of the fund balance, so it just went down a little bit. But then Larson and Amazon Pop also closed. Those are not taken into account in the fund balance from December 31st, since they closed after that. So I have subtracted those from this fund balance. So our fund balance is about 4 million. And then we have 460 in council approved funds. And then in the closed session stuff, we got 1.2 million going on, and then 2 million unrestricted after that. Any questions? All right, Thank you.
Dee, were you saying something there, or was you're muted? So
No, I just couldn't find the 460, but I found it.
all right, very good. Yeah, that all looks great. Thank you, Rosie. Seeing no further questions about the budget review, we move on to old business. Do we have items lingering from old business?
I just wanted to, it's not exactly lingering, but wanted to return to Chapter 42 revisions since it was on the agenda in January, and you all recommended to approve the Chapter 42 revisions that staff proposed. So just sort of a quick reminder of what all of that was and why it happened. Chapter 42 is the ordinance that governs the Greenbelt land acquisition, including in-city parks acquisition, but it really mostly talks about the Greenbelt. It was a 20-year-old ordinance, and the field has come, both the field sort of nationally and the program itself and legal standards and practices have all moved forward in the last 20 years. So this was just a good opportunity to do a massive overhaul of Chapter 42. So our staff was involved, you were involved, staff from or PAC was involved as well, attorneys, did some really great improvements. Some of the major ones we highlighted for you, that we highlighted for everybody, were removal of the administrative cap that was imposed at 6%, a little more wiggle room for building envelopes to match sort of the national change and focus, the national standards that currently exist for building envelopes. We removed or we created more flexibility for scoring criteria for the Greenbelt for how GAC can so scoring criteria for Greenbelt projects will still be approved and developed by GAC, but there's just more flexibility. You can have different categories than we've had, so that we can update that to match our strategic plan a little bit better. And then sort of the biggest one, the most visually impactful one and greatest impact on our immediate work is that we have expanded the boundaries of the Greenbelt. So I'm reporting all of this back to you because this was all approved by council. It went through council 3 times. And so it's done. So this exists now. So our new Greenbelt boundary, the traditional Greenbelt boundary, now exists in Ypsilanti Township. It now comes down to here. This is the old boundary in dark green. New boundary makes it a nice square. So this excludes Ypsilanti, the city of Ypsilanti, but includes that part of Ypsilanti Township. So we hope to, there's not a lot of agricultural land in that area, but we hope to be able to provide a buy, protect, sell opportunity or 2 in this area where we know there's demand for it.
And it makes such a pleasing geometric shape now.
It does. It is pleasing to the eye. So we are able to do work in Ypsilanti Township starting immediately because it's under our Greenbelt paradigm. But these revisions added essentially a second boundary entirely of the Huron River watershed upstream of where the city pulls its drinking water, limited to Washtenaw County. This is to directly address our water quality priority that has always existed, but was really highlighted in the 2019 strategic plan. So we will be working with our water treatment staff and HRWC, and eventually our other land preservation partners and you guys to develop the process for how we do projects in this area, and why and what kind of projects we do in this area. So I think we'll be developing that over the next 6 months. So we won't start projects immediately there. So Yeah, so you can communicate. We are calling it, I don't know how we're going to start using this officially, but I think it's already caught on. It's going to be called the Blue Belt. Not super original. I have since learned that New York City also has a green belt and a blue belt that are refer to very different things, but it matches the green belt, green and blue, makes sense. So that's what we're going with. So you may communicate this to people. Very exciting. Get yourselves acquainted with our new green belt and blue belt. And then I also wanted to say that there were two amendments that got proposed or got added to these Chapter 42 revisions over the course of their approval period through council that I just wanted to make you aware of, since you didn't get to read them. The two amendments were, one was to essentially remove all language referring to our ability to sell the easements back. So it's a long story, but there was a provision for repurchasing easements. It's all gone. So now the ordinance, reflects what we do wholly, which is perpetual easements only. So no change to what we're doing, but just wanted you to know that language all the repurchase language is gone. And the second amendment was to reaffirm that any money that comes back to us via sale of a property, primarily buy, protect, sell properties, goes back into the open space and parkland preservation millage. It doesn't go anywhere else in the city. So this will occur as we sell back our Maisel buy, protect, sell property on Noller to Kristen and Matt. We will be getting money from them. That money will be going back into our millage that we used for acquisition. So thank you. Yes, new boundary, very exciting. Any questions? There will be a lot of unknowns about the blue belt for a while. So we'll all have to be comfortable with that. But
Yeah, I just wanted to say really nice work, Rosie, to you and Remy. I know there were a lot of questions you had to answer and iterations to go through with council, and just speaking for the Huron River Watershed Council, we're really stoked about this. So really nice work.
Yeah, let me echo the same. And you've done a ton of work already, and I can see there's clearly much more work to be done with the various standards that you're going to create, or the criteria, and then also all the blue belt stuff and what that's going to become, and hopefully more buy, protect, sell opportunities. Lots of stuff to be coming. We do have Elizabeth who's joined us, thankfully. So hopefully that means you made it home safely. Should probably add you as part of the present, since we missed you at roll call. We said Elizabeth shall join us when she can. So
hey, Elizabeth Riggs here, joining from Ann Arbor.
Thank you. Do we have other items on old business, or are we ready to move into closed session? All right. So my recollection, Elizabeth, I'm just rolling with it right now.
You're doing great. Thank you, Jason, for helping out. Pinch hitting.
My recollection on that side of things. Let's see if I have any language for how to say
yes,
that.
It's a roll call to go into closed session.
Yes. Okay. So we do a roll call. We're going to head into closed session, assuming everyone's ready to do so, and we'll take roll call for that. Upon completion of that, we come back to open session. If there are any lingering items at that point, the public will still be able to chime in at that point. So I'm going to take roll call, starting with Deborah Armstrong. We're just wondering if you're still muted, Dee. Just wondering if you'll be able to make it to the closed session.
Oh, yes, of course.
Very good. Okay. And Roseanne Bloomer's not proud. So let's just do who's here. Julius Buzzard.
Yes.
Kate Laramie.
Yes.
Councilmember Radina.
Yes.
And Elizabeth Riggs.
Yes.
I will also be attending in closed session. So do we need a specific motion to do that, or do we just, let's
No,
go?
we are now in closed session.
Great. Okay. We'll see you all back here in open session when we're finished.
All right, thanks.
Okay. There. Juliet and I are trying to prevent that, but for any public members watching, that might happen. But we will get open session back when we are finished closed session. Thanks.
Thanks, Rosie. Okay.
Thank you. Hello, do we have everybody back?
Yep.
Great. Jason, did you want me to
Yep.
lead it? Okay, thanks again for kicking us off today while I was in traffic. Okay, so we are back from closed session. Does anyone have any motions from closed session?
I will motion to recommend city participation with the Washtenaw County Parks and Recreation Commission in the acquisition of a conservation easement on the property identified in application ID 2005-14 and approval of the contribution of funds not to exceed $214,000 from the Open Space and Parkland Preservation Village.
Thank you. Is there support? Okay, Councilperson Redina, thank you both. Is there a discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Some folks are on mute. Hopefully just the hand raise is going to be sufficient. Great. Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you. Are there other motions from closed session?
I motion to recommend city participation with Ann Arbor Township in the acquisition of a conservation easement on the property identified in application ID 2024-01 and approval of the contribution of funds not to exceed $172,250 from the Open Space and Parkland Preservation Village.
Thank you. And is there support?
Support.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, great. Motion carries. Thank you. And do we have any other motions from closed session?
Yep. I motion to grant staff to proceed with an appraisal for app ID 2024-02.
And trust we need support on that as well. Happy to support. All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No? Okay, motion carries. Thank you. And then I have the last motion from closed session. So I'd like to make the motion to authorize appraisal on the Cherry Hill property, application ID 2024-05.
I'll second that one. Okay.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? None. So that carries as well. Excellent. Thanks, everybody. Good conversation and motions. And the next on our agenda is public commentary. And is anybody waiting to address the commission?
We have no callers for public commentary.
Okay, thanks, Juliet. Next on the agenda is communications. That committee has not met. Okay, and then
Communications from any of you, if you so desire.
Any items there? No. Okay, all right. Then our last item is adjournment, and we need someone to make a motion so that we can adjourn.
So made.
Okay, Commissioner Boggs, is there support?
Support.
Thank you. Commissioner Laramie, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Motion carries. Great, we are adjourned. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you, Rosie.
Thank you.
Happy spring. Don't burn your eyes out next week.
Happy birding.